Hello, my name is Ryan Sanders, and today we're going to be talking about WestJet's Airlines social media marketing campaign. First, we'll touch on WestJet's beginnings and how they came about and who they really are. They were founded by the 5 gentlemen listed on the slide below. WestJet's first flight was taken February 19th, 1996. At this time, they had 3 used Boeing aircrafts and only 225 employees. The concept behind WestJet is similar to that of Southwest Airlines here in the US, that they would be a low-cost Canadian airline that had destinations primarily in the western side of Canada. And just like any beginning company, they had their obstacles ahead of them. These ranged from Canadian transportation codes needing to be met, and then a shuffling of people in the CEO seat. They just couldn't get their bearings straight and get going off the bat. In the early 2000s, many expansions were made, a lot of these being Western Canada destinations, as well as Mexico and Caribbean destinations, which were contracted by different travel agencies. In an agreement with these travel agencies, WestJet would use their aircrafts to transport people from the surrounding areas down to Mexico and the Caribbean. But unfortunately, the trouble was not behind them. There was more to face. In 2004, WestJet's rival, Air Canada, sued for industrial espionage. On May 29, 2006, WestJet admitted to the charges, and it cost them over $15.5 million. $5.5 million were paid towards legal and investigation fees. Then $10 million were sent out to various children's charities in the name of Air Canada and WestJet. Although this was a big deal for the children's charities, it was a big hit for WestJet to take. Mid to late 2000s was a great time for WestJet. There were many expansions being made. They're now covering more Caribbean islands. They made destinations out to the US, even Hawaii, and they made their first trip to Europe in 2013. From 2000 to 2009, their market share went up from 7% to a whopping 38%. With all of this growing and expanding that WestJet was doing, they knew it was time that they needed to get their name out there and get creative while doing it. They ran a series of marketing campaigns, one of which I'd like to talk about today is WestJet's Christmas Miracle. They have a couple of videos under this series, but one in particular that I'm wanting to talk about today, WestJet's Christmas Miracle Real-Time Giving. Now, if there's some chance that you haven't seen this video, go ahead and pause the presentation now and take a minute to watch the video so that we both be on the same page. I apologize, I forgot to warn you, you may want a box of tissues. Needless to say, I'm a huge fan of this marketing campaign. It was published December 8th, 2013. The plans began in August 2013. Of course, I would assume, as much as you should assume, that something like this would take a lot of planning and a lot of precise, keen precision. They used 175 WestJet volunteers, which are all employed by WestJet, but just chose to volunteer to do this, as well as 19 hidden cameras. This was an amazing ad, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but they were able to save some money on their advertising despite everything that they bought that day. At this time, WestJet only had 20 destinations in the US, yet according to Brandwatch, an analytics firm that monitors conversations on social media, the WestJet campaign has been mentioned nearly 10,000 times since its launch. A full 54% of that conversation happened in the US. And these statistics were taken only a month after the release of the video. I believe that says a lot for an advertisement like this, having been sent out worldwide via social media. Prior to the launching of the video, WestJet had 3,700 YouTube subscribers. It took only 3 days for that number to multiply by 320%, getting them up to 12,000 subscribers. Today, being a little over a year since the video had launched, they are now at 49,200 plus subscribers, giving them a whopping 67 million plus views. From the time of December 8th, when the video was launched, to December 25th, they had reached an unbelievable 36.5 million views in just those short few weeks. Richard Bartram, WestJet's VP of Community Relations, said that the goal was to only reach 800,000 views by Christmas. I think they outdid themselves just a little on this one. During this time, Facebook had 6 times more engagement for WestJet than any other airline at that period of time. This, of course, includes the 3.2 million impressions on Facebook that they were getting. And from all the videos on YouTube that WestJet has produced, this ad accounts for over 70% of the total views of their YouTube channel, which they have many videos, some of them regarding different vacation destinations, others are more goodwill advertisements such as this one. They have a variety of comedy and heartfelt messages on there, but this one video seems to prevail above the rest. Now, just like any other marketing campaign, the goal is to get your name out there. The goal is to have your name in more places and also tie an image to your name. And I think that's one thing that WestJet did an amazing job here in this marketing campaign, is letting the people know that they are a giving company and that they do care. Primarily that their care extends beyond those who just ride on their airplanes and give them the money and fly from destination to destination, but it extends to the community. In a sense that they are going to unite the people around the world. I know Coca-Cola was very successful at this tactic, giving an image of unity amongst everyone around the globe. I think this is a wonderful approach. Christopher Stamper of Toronto Dominion Banks, he's the Senior Vice President of Corporate Marketing, he said this: "It makes a difference. If price and quality were similar, they would switch to the brand that was affiliated with a good cause. You want to align to a brand and organization that you can see yourself in." And I think this message holds true to anybody, especially when running an emotionally tied marketing campaign for any company. If the company has good standards, quality goals, I believe that there's deep inside of everybody that they feel this same feeling and would like to align themselves with this and associate themselves with different companies that believe the same way they do. Not only was this a phenomenal marketing campaign, but there were some awards involved to boot. Now, the Shorty Awards are an annual awards event that recognize people and organizations producing real-time short film content across Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. Now, via the Shorty Awards, this marketing campaign, and this video in particular, won Best Social Media for Consumer Brand, Best Use of Social Media for Travel, and Best Viral Campaign. I would say with all the viral campaigns I've seen, this lives nothing short but to the name of Best Viral Campaign in my book as well. Now, the real payoff is a goodwill advertising that money cannot buy. Although Bertram, one of WestJet's executives, says that it costs nowhere near as much to do this advertisement than you would have expected, according to Forbes. Now, even though he wouldn't disclose the exact amount, he said it was only a fraction, quote, a mere fraction of what the company would typically spend on a similar production for a professional commercial. Again, according to a Forbes interview. I found this quote by Guy Kozowski, the former chief evangelist and Apple co-founder, that I believe really fits in with what this type of advertising does. It says, "When you enchant people, your goal is not to make money from them or get them to do what you want, but it is to fill them with delight." And I think that's exactly what this advertisement has done. It hits the nail right on the head with that. It gives you that good feeling inside that can make you tear up or make you want to go outside and go do something good for someone else. And then it puts their name on it, WestJet, and seals the deal and lets you know that that's what kind of company they are, and that's the kind of care that they're going to give you, their customers, as well as their community around them. Well, folks, I appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully you learned something about goodwill advertising and how to do it like the best. I encourage you to go to WestJet's YouTube page and check out some of their other videos. I promise you, you'll laugh and you may even cry a little at a couple things. It had me in stitches, a couple of those videos that they made. But what are some of the other goodwill advertisements that you enjoyed? I'd love to hear about them. I always love to see when companies use their resources to do good for the common man. I hope you had a good time and learned a couple things. Thanks for stopping by.